Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another Marvel Legend review. Today we're going to take a look at the new Build-A-Figure Caliban Wave, X-Men's SkullBuster.
Take this mild drug and you will have a nice sleep without any nightmares.
The slogan, the slogan, the slogan.
Wait a minute.
And here's SkullBuster out of the packaging, and aesthetically he's a really cool figure. I really like the head sculpt. The paint apps are really clean on that. The shoulder pads look really cool. The whole jacket and ammunition across the chest is awesome. His belt with all the pouches looks cool. And then he has the cybernetic arm and legs. He's just a really cool figure, even if I don't know too much about this character. But the back of the box reads, SkullBuster, an enemy of the X-Men, the cyborg SkullBuster is an member of the villainous gang called the Reavers. And from what I know about them is they're pretty much just a gang from Australia, and I think they're just like the Crusaders, or I forget their name right now. But basically they just went around killing mutants from what I could remember, and then they faced off against the X-Men and they were defeated, and I believe SkullBuster was killed by Forge, and that's pretty much all I know from what I read. But he's a pretty cool figure. Let's go ahead and dive into his aesthetics, and then we'll get into the articulation, some size comparisons, and then we'll go ahead and do some photography. Alright, now taking a closer look at SkullBuster. Aesthetically, this figure is really cool. I really like the little skull, but the busted skull on his head. The decal came out really, really nice. You can see a little bit of black through the white, but I think it looks really good. It's more true to like the real paint job, I guess you would do. I don't know if this is like the way his face is. I believe it's just painted like that, but I do wish we got an alternate head sculpt where this face was screaming or like yelling. That would have been really cool. But I really do like the way this head came out. I do want to get another, maybe like two more of these figures just to have like a small army of like bad guys. But yeah, it's a really cool head sculpt. I'm really happy with it. Pretty much all three figures I've gotten from this wave so far have had really, really good head sculpts. I still really like that Blink figure. But moving down, he just has a black shirt underneath. I'm pretty sure you could remove the coat. I really do like the shoulder pads. Has the spikes on there. Those look really cool. And then on this side, he has more like a cap shoulder, more like a gear or something. And then he has ammunition right there in his pocket. And then a knife on the side right here. I'm going to go ahead and paint that black a little later on. And then he has the cybernetic arm. It goes down into his little band right there. So that's cool. I didn't even notice that. But he has the cybernetic underneath and then the band on top. And then he has a trigger finger, so that's really good. And then the skin tone is actually pretty pale. It's coming out nice in the camera because I got this red light on. But in person, the skin tone's really, really pale. Yeah. And then he has his belt right there with all the pouches. Goes all the way back. Then he has his gun right there. It's pretty much the only accessory he came with, which is kind of crazy because they gave him this hand, and he just needs to have a bigger gun than that little ass thing. Moving down, he has little chonies on, and then he has the cybernetic legs, and I believe they're the same as Deathlock. I'll go ahead and bust him out in a minute for a size comparison. Then he has his knee pads, and moving down, I really like these boots. They came out really nice. I don't know if they're new or they're the same as Deathlock, but these boots are really nice. If I do any kit bashes, I'm definitely going to get another one of these figures and use these. Really cool. Alright, now taking a closer look at articulation, he could look up fairly good. He could look down pretty well. Left, right. His arms can 360, but they're a little bit hindered by that right there, as you can see. Goes up about that much. He has a swivel, double jointed elbow, hinge, and 360. Then he does have a torso crunch, so that's really good. Goes down about that much, back about that much, and a torso swivel, which I love. Legs kick out about that much, kick up, swivel, double jointed knee, and a thigh boot swivel. Pivot and articulation. So very good articulation on this guy. Alright, so one thing I noticed putting the gun in his hand right now, his bicep is a little bit hindered because of the cybernetic arm. It has the double joint, but when you try and bend it right there, it's more like a single. So that kind of blows. I'm sure you could shave it down or something and get that arm to go all the way up. I probably will hit up my buddy Michael Wisman and see if he could help me out with that. See if he has any ideas. I'm sure somebody's already came up with something. But yeah, be wary of that. Real quick, looking at the alternate head. The head sculpt's pretty cool. Has that little window right there. You can see the eyes really well. Then he has some blonde hair. And then it has like this dome on top. That's pretty cool. So that's another reason why I want to get multiples of this figure. So you could have 2 of these on the head with him being the leader. And it's pretty cool. It has really nice detail in the head sculpt and everything like that. I'll go ahead and put it on this figure, see how it looks. Yeah, this actually looks really cool. I really like the way this head sculpt looks. So I'm actually might be a little more happy with this head sculpt than the skull one. And for a quick size comparison, here I have Cable on his right. And I'm really happy that Cable's a lot bigger than him because Cable alone is a beast. If Cable was the face-off with SkullBuster, it'd be done before it even started. Cable would just demolish him. And on his left, I have the Tiger Stripe Wolverine with the Weapon X head sculpt. And I really do like the way the two of them look next to each other. Like if they were face to face, Wolverine would just look so short and just pissed off next to him. And I feel like that's an appropriate look. The Canadian versus the Australian. They look really good next to each other, and I probably will come up with something with the two of them. And since I got all 3 open, here's a size comparison with Blink on his right, and they look really good next to each other, and Weapon X on his left, and all 3 of these are really, really good figures. I'm very happy with all the sculpts, the paint apps. I think Hasbro's doing a great job with their 2019 waves. Alright, so looking at SkullBuster online, he kind of has like a motley crew of the Reavers. They were kind of just like random people who just looked wild and from Australia, and they went around hunting mutants. So these are some of the figures I thought that I could kind of team him up with and have them hunt some mutants. So on his right, I have Scourge, and on his left, that was the Vulture figure, and then I actually painted the Voodoo head sculpt and put it on that figure. And a long time ago, I made a Black Panther video, and that's who I was using as Killmonger. So yeah, I think these guys look really good next to each other. I know that that Vulture body is really tall because of the legs, but I do feel like in the background he would look really cool next to SkullBuster. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I got to say about SkullBuster. I really do like this figure aesthetically. I do want to get 2 more and kind of have like a small crew for the Reavers. If you haven't already, please subscribe, please hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys thought of this review. I'm going to go ahead and set up for some photography right now, and we'll see what I come up with.
Wait a minute.